if Manchester City wins the FA Cup, is that enough to salvage this season?
The easy answer has to be yes.
I'm going with the easy answer is no.
I think so. I mean, a trophy doesn't hurt the season.
But does it salvage the season? Don't forget, these guys have won 7 out of 8 of the last Premier Leagues. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that number. It might have been 8 of the last 9. They've also did the quadruple. You know what I mean? Here we are, not that far removed.
But that can't be the standard if they don't repeat that all the time.
If you don't get in Champions League and you don't win the Premier League, obviously, because you didn't get in Champions League, and all you did was win the FA Cup, is that enough to salvage the season? Now, when Manchester City has risen the bar this high.
So I guess I can modify my answer, because then if they miss Champions League, then it's a failure, and the FA Cup won't really resolve anything. So, and that's just simply talking about how much money the club brings in. It's also referencing the sort of impending like the court decision that we're about to hear as well. So there's a lot to salvage if they don't find some success, especially financially, because we know they don't. It's not simply about just the popularity of the team and how much money that they bring in. Like, they need to be playing in these competitions to balance the books effectively.
But from a fan perspective, do you think the fans will walk away going, you know what? At least we won a trophy. I think that this club has risen the bar so high, and I'm sure there's some fans that would say that. But I think, for looking at it from a overall, if you poll everybody that considers themselves a fan of Manchester City, I think you would say this has been a bad season overall, and you can't be bad and salvage.
Right? Yes, but I'm going to say this as respectfully as possible. All right, as respectfully as possible. I do not care how Manchester City fans feel about their team doing badly for not even once a whole season, just a couple months.
Just about how far removed we are from when they used to be in the 3rd division. And they were the noisy neighbors. And now we're like, you've won too much.
they literally nothing to complain about. Right. If any Manchester City fan is like, I cannot stand, this is not the standard of my... Shut up.
Yeah.
Do not care.
Yeah.
Really? Well, how much do you need to win before you give them a little bit of grace and let them have a little bit of a rough season? Even though this rough season is still spectacular for almost any other club in the world.
Spoken like a true Everton fan. When you say every other club in the world, give me my...
You know what? Dock Everton 10 more points. Here's
what I'll say.
Because Man City fans are upset.
You want to hear what the real shame is? That Arsenal finished second every other year. And then this year, the one year where Manchester City are failing, they're nowhere near second place.
Hey,
I should say winning.
That's how it worked out. The one thing that was interesting, I want to just pull up some comments from Bernardo Silva, because he was asked about kind of a similar question.
Did they ask him after his nap and his apple sauce?
I don't think so, because a reporter had said that, basically is the form that Manchester City are in, is it because they're too old? You know what his response was? He said, tell me, which player? Give me names. Which is just so, like, he's like, who are you calling old? Bernardo Silva is, I believe, 30 years old. But he's 30 years old. But then we also have to think about, like, the mileage that they put on these legs and all the success
the system they play in
has cost them something.
The insane amount of matches that a Manchester City player has to play, because they're in every competition for a very long time.
Right. So and he continues on. He goes, that's people that don't understand the game. I'm 30 years old. Kovacic is 30 years old. You're not talking about guys that are 36. So we have 6 bad months. Or 4 bad months, and out of nowhere we're old, that we're not good enough. In the last 8 seasons, we've won 6 Premier Leagues, and after 4 months, now we're too old. So
so he corrected me. 6 out of the last 8. I said 7 of the last 8. Yeah.
So I mean, you understand why the players would get defensive, but this is the standard that they've set. So now the annoying thing is, like, now that Man City players are being held to the standard that they have set, now it's like, give me names. Who are you calling old? People were just trying to figure out, like, why don't you guys look like you normally look? It's basically the same roster.
Well, it was Kyle Walker, and it was guys like Kevin De Bruyne. But Kyle Walker being on loan in Milan kind of took him out of the argument. And look, maybe they finished the season with this one trophy. I'm going to stick to, you can walk away and say, we've won a trophy in the last, whatever, so many seasons. Sure. but this did not salvage what has been a bad season for the standard that they have set.
And I would just say, like, it'd be lovely if they win FA Cup. They need to get into Champions League. If they do not get there,
right,
a failure. And I think it's a stain on this team and on Pep Guardiola.
So who's the Arsenal now?
All right. So shout out to everybody watching on OneFootball. We are the Cooligans. If you want to subscribe to our channel, the link is in the description right there. Go do that right now to see more of this gold that we got.